Yay, we're live. Hi, everybody.
Yay! Hello.
I am so glad. This is my first time hosting a live stream, and I am so happy. I have two amazing guests with me today. We got Becca, we got Mick. Do you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves? I'm so excited to be streaming. It is International Women's Day. Also, it was just Mick's birthday
And
and
it's your birthday.
mine, and it's about to be Becca's birthday. So this is like a Pisces little celebration stream. And me and Tia, who I think is in the chat, we have the same birthday. So also happy belated birthday to Tia. Yeah, guys, go ahead, introduce yourselves.
Go ahead, Becca.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Becca. I writer here on YouTube, just like my two besties here. I post a lot of like writing content, especially as I'm working on my first book, which I have tentatively titled Project Eden. It's what I have been pitching as a 90s East Coast autumn ghost story, lit fic, speculative fic, somewhere in that realm. I'm so bad at like, I don't know what genre it falls into, so that's what I'm just calling it. Yeah, super excited to be on stream today. I was telling the girls, I'm like, I've been looking forward to this like ever since we talked about it. So super happy to be here.
I'm so glad you guys are here.
Me too. Hi everyone. I'm Mick. Also like my besties. I post on YouTube. I'm a writer. I apologize about how I look. I feel like I look red and grungy.
Beautiful.
To the girls before. I just came back from a women's march. So that was really fun. But I am working on an adult contemporary fantasy right now. That is now multi POV and focuses on magic in the real world. And that's about all I got for a short pitch there. But I'm excited to be here with my Pisces besties. Love these girls. Thanks for having me.
We have so many people in the chat. We got Miley, Ella, we got Tom, Taylor. We got some happy birthday wishes. Dami's here. Hi, Dami. Margot. Yes, we love our Pisces besties. And I agree. Mick, you do look stunning.
Thanks.
I do have a question because you guys are both kind of like in revising stages. Like how, I mean, Mick, I know you're kind of like revising a little bit of what you've like previously written, but like how has that been like grappling with this like fundamental work that you started out with and then like trying to figure out how you want to change it to like make it align more with that vision? Like how has that been for you guys?
Mick, I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, Becca. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm still in drafting, but like Ari said, this book has changed drastically, even from when Ari and Becca has read a couple of my earlier chapters. It has changed a lot since then. I feel like grappling with changes for me, it does feel intense, but I think like advice for it or how I try to approach it is I save everything. I keep every version, I keep every draft, I keep everything documented so that the changes are happening. But like if I do need to go back, you keep all of your work, like never scrap anything. So everything is changing, but it's all still there, if that makes sense.
You haven't like fully killed your darlings yet,
Right. Yeah. I'm just constantly restarting over like a new iteration, but I keep every iteration I've done just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. Like with revising, I'm in this weird spot, right? Because like my first draft was really like, it's not even really a true first draft. It was like a zero draft. I was really just trying to like fumble my way through it. And like what I'm doing right now is like, I try to look at each draft as it accomplishing something different. So like right now, this draft is really just like giving it structure. Like there were so many scenes missing from like the first 50, like the first draft that I wrote. So now I'm like weaving it in a little bit better and like being a little bit more conscious of storylines. And like I don't like mix that. I don't throw out like all the prose. I think the second half of my book is actually like pretty strong. So I'm like, oh, okay, I know a lot of what I wrote there is actually going to make it into like this version of the draft. But I think it's also been really helpful for me. I'm really selective about who I give pages to. So obviously, like Ari and Mick read the very early pages of Eden when I was doing the zero draft. And Lynn was kind enough to also give me feedback on the revised pages, as did Mick. And like getting feedback from the right people to help me understand that, like, okay, the heart of what I'm doing is working, but like these are things that I'm not noticing, like head hopping, or like I also added an additional POV to my story because it's like it's just tough. But I try not to sit in like a vacuum with it because I will just I'll go crazy picking the whole thing
Mhm.
apart. So
Yeah.
I try my best to just be very careful and make sure I'm like, okay, this draft needs to do this, and that's all I'm gonna worry about right now moving forward. So that's where I'm at with because I'm in like redrafting, revising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's especially I feel like when you, uh, think about redrafting and they're like how many iterations there are, like, I think that can also feel really overwhelming, but, like, when you actually just do, like, "I just need to do this one thing," it becomes, like, so much more manageable and just, like, conceptually easier, like,
Mhm.
to think about how much you have to do emotionally. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
that's, like, a huge part of the emotional process too, is, like, I just have to do this, like, one piece, and, like, I can do that, that's manageable.
Mhm. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
We got Mick, you do have that activism glow.
Thank you.
Yes.
Shouting
Uh,
chants.
Gracie, I'm so happy that this time works for
Yay.
you. We have Rose and Renee and Carrie and Kayla. And Ren, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well, Ren. I hope you feel better. Cody's here. Hi, Cody. LDJ is here. Wow, what a crew.
What a crew.
Okay, we have a couple questions. We can get to a couple questions and then start the first sprint. Does that sound all right to you guys? Okay,
Amazing.
amazing. Okay, question from Gracie. I'd love to know what is one creative thing you'd all love to master that you haven't gotten any
Mhm.
skills in yet? Is
Sewing.
is this in writing or just like creative pursuits in general?
Yeah.
How do we want to discuss?
That's a
I'm
good
Maybe
gonna
let's stick. Yeah, go for it, Becca.
No, I'm gonna say like creative. I'm gonna say that's all encompassing for me. I would love to
Yeah,
sew. My mom is a seamstress,
Mm.
and I'm like, I
that's
think she's a
awesome.
freaking wizard. Like, I'm like, how you and like alter bridesmaid dresses or like tailor thing. I feel like tailoring and hemming things is like such a skill to make your clothes
Mm.
look so much better. I wish I had that. I cannot navigate a sewing machine to save my life. So
It's so hard. It's so hard to sew. Yes, I completely agree.
That's a great question. I unfortunately want to master every creative thing.
mm,
I am the jack of all trades, master of none. But I do believe that it's better than a master of one. So there's so many creative things. I like to sew, pottery, embroider. Um, one thing that I have an entire Pinterest board dedicated to this. I've never done it in my life and I want to, is mosaics.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Like, how fun, how beautiful.
That
So,
sounds very cool.
yeah, I'll lean into that answer, but there's, like if anyone follows me on Pinterest, you can just look there and see
Mhm.
whatever I wanna do, it's on my Pinterest board, but yeah, mosaics, definitely. Yeah.
That is such a creative one too. I like never would have thought about that as a hobby. Um, I feel like pottery would be really fun. Like, Mick, I know you started pottery, but like I have no, like zero. Like I think I've maybe done some pottery when I was like 10 years old and like never since then. But I feel like it must be so relaxing and
mm,
just like fun.
Mhm.
So
yes.
that's I think one that I would love to get interested in, but I feel like you really have to like invest in it as a hobby.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately. I do feel like just anything, because like, Becca, you said sewing, or you said pottery, like, I do feel like it's important for writers to have a creative thing that's with their hands.
Mm,
Like,
Yes.
so much that we do with writing is mental, and like Becca was just saying about revisions, like trying not to get in your head is such an important part of the writing stage, like trying not to stay there too much. So I feel like when you can like have a creative outlet that's with your hands, I think it can help with the mental creative outlets that we have.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think like getting out of your head a little bit, like is so fun. Cody says he would love to learn how to make his own clothes.
Yes.
Thank you. I made it. So true. Like how gratifying would that be? Miley said she wants to do collages.
Love
That's a good
that.
one.
The amount of money I've spent on starting new hobbies. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So true.
Yes.
Cody has also gone down spirals of glass cutting to make miniature stained glass pieces. That sounds really cool, actually. Like, would totally want to do that.
Agreed. Guys, we should have like a little craft day.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Would love that for us.
We got a couple questions. Okay. Miley wants to know, how linearly do you revise? Do you hop around or do you go front to back, especially for a short story? I'm like super linear. Like my brain does not work non-linearly. And honestly, kudos to anybody who can do that. I just don't think I have the brain power for it. Like I think if I have like a scene idea, like before I start a project, like that's like as far as non-linear as I'll go. But like once I actually start drafting, like it has to be linear. And even for short stories, like same linear, boring answer, but there we go.
Yeah.
I think like for me, I just have to know what I'm building towards, and that's very hard to do if I do it out of order. Maybe because I'm like experiencing the story along with my characters as I'm writing it. So like that's how it works in my head. So I'm also gonna go with the boring answer, and I'm like, I have to do it start to finish, like every time.
I hear ya.
I agree. I think revising for me, I've only done it like 3 times, and I used to revise a ton of short stories in college. Short stories definitely linearly. Novels too, but I think for revising, I always just do macro to micro. So like the second draft is like all structure, and then it goes like smaller and smaller. So it's like big picture stuff to like, are all the chapters in the right place, to then are all the scenes flowing together, to then like the line editing. But I feel like I do that for both novel and short story. And I have to go in order or I'll drive myself crazy.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you. And I really like how you describe that like macro to micro level too, because I feel like that's like exactly like the funnel of like developmental all the way to like copy edits, like generally like how you think about making edits. We got Emily. Emily's here.
Hi, Emily.
And Joy's here. So many friends. Okay, we got one more question. And then we're gonna start sprinting because we've been yapping for a while already. What programs do you use for series Bible? Also, do you outline whole series or one book at a time?
Coming in with like the hard questions, guys.
I know. I just use Scrivener. Again, boring answer. Sorry. Literally just Scrivener. I use nothing else except for like maybe Incarnate to make a map. But like that's it.
I think I was literally gonna talk about this because I built like a whole Milanote board for Eden, and I'm like, I ended up putting everything in my Scrivener, my outline, my beat sheet, like all that stuff, because while that stuff is nice to have, what's actually more important to me is being able to have that stuff in a place that I can easily access it when I'm actually drafting. So everything lives in Scrivener for me now. That might be a boring ass answer, but I also would outline
all of us
linearly.
Like, I'm going with what's working. But
wait, I also love how it's like Pisces stream, bestie stream. We all have the same answers. Like loving it. Loving it.
I think also like I decided to re-outline Eden after I gave you the pages, make the revised ones. And I think it's solidified for me that I am a plotter. 100%. I cannot pants anything or half-ass it anymore. Like I need a roadmap. So if I were to outline an entire book series, yes.
That is interesting because I feel like, I mean, this draft, anyone who's been following along, and poor Ari and Becca have had to hear me like jump in our Discord group chat, like, today I ruined everything. Here's my chaos Elmo emoji.
We love it.
It's
We love
all
it.
different. But what's funny is I feel like this project for me, I used to be such a hardcore plotter. I mean, on my channel, I have like the 6-act story structure I usually use every single time. I was big on outlining every other previous manuscript I've done. I think this story has broken me down and I'm like pantsing it now, which is crazy.
Welcome to the dark
I
side.
know. I know. Remember months ago when I was like, Ari, I could never. Well, now that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I think obviously, like, if you do a series Bible, where you do it, if you outline where you do it, it's so dependent on your process. But at least what I'm learning is like every book is also really different for me right now. I don't have a solidified
Mhm.
process. This will be my 4th book I'm working on, and it is so different from the other books. And so I don't have like a structured writing process. If I become like a full-time or like professional author, maybe that would solidify once you're on like continuous deadline a ton. But since I'm not, it's
Mhm.
just different every time. So I also use Scrivener for my series Bible, but to be honest, most of it is in a physical notebook. This guy, $1.99 at
Love
Target.
it.
So just putting everything there. And yeah, I have a notebook, put everything in Scrivener, but I think just find what works best for you. Because I feel like so much of YouTube, especially, everyone's like, here's my process. Not everyone's process is going to work for you. You got to just think of
Yeah.
like, what is the project asking you for? Every project needs something different.
Yeah. There is something to be said about like pen to paper, like writing something down physically, like, I don't know,
Mhm.
so helpful. But I think it was like RF Kwong. She was basically like, I literally could not tell you what my process is. Like it changes from book to book.
Yeah.
And the challenges are different from book to book too. So I think that's kind of what makes this as a hobby, like, and pursuit just so challenging is because the goalposts are constantly shifting and like need to be catered to a specific project as well. Um, yeah, so true. Tia uses Scrivener, Campfire, and Plotter, and everyone wants to know what Campfire is.
I've heard of Campfire, but isn't it
Have
like
you?
I'm actually looking up. I think
Oh,
I've
here we
looked
go.
into it. It looks like Scrivener to me, but I do think it looks a little bit more like user-friendly than Scrivener. I do feel like
Hmm.
Scrivener has a huge learning curve in the beginning. Like, I mean,
Mm,
I'm still learning some things that Scrivener can do, and I've had it for 7 years.
mm.
I think it's pretty similar. It just has like a better UI. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tia.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay, I'll
Mhm.
definitely have to go check it out.
Mhm.
Um, okay, guys, we have
Yeah.
been chatting for 20 minutes, so we're gonna start sprinting. Okay. How long do we want to do? 25 minutes sound okay?
Yeah, I'm good with
Yep,
that.
good with me.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, 25 minutes. Let's get some words. I'll see you guys soon. Good luck, everyone. Okay. How'd that go for you guys?
Okay. Let me see how I got. Oh, I got 451.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Becca?
I got 419, which I'm happy with.
Nice. Let me see. Yeah, about 500, which I feel like is pretty good for me, especially in 25 minutes.
Yay.
Yes.
We have a couple people who popped in while we were sprinting. Ian is here. Irene is here. AP.
Hello.
Brooke popped by. Taylor read through 2 chapters. Yeah, guys, let us know in the chat how that sprint was for you guys. Miley read about 20 pages of CK. Oh, exciting.
Fun.
That's fun.
Very fun.
Yeah, I haven't written in like a really long time. Like,
I was
I
so
feel like
scared I was going to be fighting to get words out, and that was actually not that bad. So I
oh,
feel you. I
good.
haven't touched it in like a week or
Good.
2 weeks. So
Did it feel like it flowed?
you know what? Yeah, I shout out to my bestie Taylor in the chat. Her and I have been like FaceTiming a little bit more, and I like finally took her advice of just like shutting up and letting the words go. I've been like for a while I was just like writing and rewriting sentences like it was just me and the backspace key like for 3 weeks and I wasn't getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just like letting it like even if I use the same word twice in a sentence, I'm like I can fix it later. Like
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
That's been good. That's been nice. It's been
Yay,
helpful.
that's awesome. Mick, have you been writing some new Figgy POV stuff?
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I now have like a lot of POVs. It's all in third person though. Which is also different. But yeah, it's been fun. I actually was just writing a chapter in my male main character's point of view, which who knows what his name is right now. There's like a list of 7 things on every note of every chapter in his point of view of like, I don't know. We'll figure it out one day.
One day. One day.
One day.
Yanni got 405 words.
Nice.
Hello.
Anna went to the store making lunch. Honestly, very productive. Mullen's popping in. AP finished revising 2 chapters. 447 and dropped a major reveal. That's so exciting.
Ooh, love that.
Cody finished setting up his quarterly goals on Notion. That's so exciting. Wedding soon.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's this month.
Yeah.
So
That's
exciting. Ella got 276 words.
Nice.
Yes. This is just, I think, like a universal writerly thing.
100%.
I agree. Yeah, I wrote words. Are they good words? No. But we wrote words, you know, and that's fine.
And that's a win. We have to take that.
That's a win.
That's so wild. That's so exciting, Cody. Congratulations.
Oh my god.
That's so fun.
Nick,
feel free to pop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say feel free to pop questions in the chat. We have a question from Joy, but Becca, go for it.
Number 1, I love getting updates from Mick. Number 2, I feel like it's constantly changing. I always have to ask, are you scrapping what you had up until this point and like restarting your story with like all of the POV? Okay.
Yes, Becca. I got 47,000 words in my last draft, and it's all put in a folder that was like, don't look at this. I'm restarting from scratch. Yeah. Is it smart? I don't know. There's like a decision, or you asked about this earlier, like how do you keep track of all the changes? Because I'm not really revising yet. I think there's a decision you have to make when you're drafting of like, okay, if I'm changing everything, you can either just write what you have and then do the bulk of the work in revision, or restart now and then do a little bit less work in revisions. And I really just sat with my book over like the winter period, and I took a break from writing, and I mostly just kind of went back to the drawing board, and I just kind of asked myself, like, what if this, and what if that, and what if this, and what if that. And I think what I came up with is a stronger story. Like, it has more conflict, stronger characters, better plot, you know? So since it felt stronger, I was like, I think it's probably better to just restart. Even if I'm under drafting heavily now. Like, every chapter is like 1,000, 1,500 words, which I'm like not an under drafter usually, but I'm just trying to like crank through to see if this is flowing. So, but it's flowing very fast. So it's like short chapters right now. And yeah, you know, I love scrapping everything and making everything harder for myself, but I think it's a stronger story now.
Can
And I
I
think
just
it's also
Oh, go ahead, Ari. No, go.
No, I think it's also a little bit like the prior drafts like let you get to this stronger draft now, right? Like it's like this constant
Absolutely.
process of refining, and like the previous draft, they're not
Yes.
wasted words. They like helped you get to where you need to be now for this stronger draft.
And
Sorry,
I feel
Becca, go
used.
for it.
Like
No,
those
no.
previous
That's
words. Yeah.
the awkwardness of live streaming. It's just like
I
we're
know.
always well, I just think it's so interesting because when I was doing my first draft, I wrote my chapters were like 1,500 to 2,000 words. And then I re-outlined it and I started redoing this. And now I don't know what it is, but I don't think I have a single chapter under like 4,000 words. I've never been an overwriter. And to a certain extent, I actually don't think I'm overwriting right now. I think I'm writing things that need to be in there. But if I keep going at this pace, I'm gonna have like 100,000 word book, which maybe the people want, but I'm just like, that's kind of long. Like I need to figure out a way to like cut it back down. But for now, I'm actually like really enjoying overwriting a little bit.
Yeah.
But you got this. It's gonna be great. Every step leads you to the right place where you're supposed to take the story. So
it does. It does. And Becca, I've read your newer chapters, and like everything is needed. You asked that, and I was like, yeah, unfortunately, girl, I think everything you've written like is needed in these earlier chapters. So it is hard. It's hard when you're drafting, revising any stage to be like, what is the word count here? But I do feel like that comes in more of like the micro parts of revising, right?
Yeah.
To me, at least that comes in like the line editing and like the scene editing, when you're really looking at everything like a smaller level of like, okay, I can cut these sentences or etc. And that starts to really trim down.
Yeah. And I think it's also like earlier chapters tend to be like longer than like, you know, like more faster paced chapters. So like it's also okay if like earlier chapters are longer, you know, like I think also chapter size and like can change over the course of the book, right? So like your chapters are longer in the beginning, like that might change over the course of the book too. But also like be indulgent, you know? Like there's
it like
nothing wrong
totally
with that.
depends. Yeah, I feel like you gotta give like a chapter room to like marinate, especially depending on like what happens. Like sometimes you want like the reader to sit with that for like a little while. So
for sure. For sure. Okay, we got a couple really good questions.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna go back because Joy asked us a question before we started sprinting. So what are you guys currently reading?
I can go. I just finished The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. Highly recommend. I instantly ran to my library to go get Long Bright River by Liz Moore. I have never paused so much in my life, at least in the last couple of years, reading a book to like write notes to myself
Nice.
about her writing and what she does. So loved The God of the Woods. And I'm also reading slowly because I don't want it to end. Like I told Becca, I read it a little bit every day. Blue Sisters by Coco Malore, which is also fantastic. So that's what I've been reading.
Excellent segue because I just picked up Cleopatra and Frankenstein last night. So that's what I've been reading. I'm reading like 3 different books at a time. Nobody judge me, all
I
right?
do that all the time. Yeah.
But I'm also reading, I think Nick and I share a love of Grady Hendrix.
That's next for me. That's next.
So we have The Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, and I'm also in the middle. I'm almost done reading Taylor's Venture Below. That one is a very quick, snappy read, and I'm enjoying it like very much so. But I'm reading like 3 books at a time. But Coco's I read number 1 because I love her writing style. Number 2 because so much of the way she writes is the way that I would love to emulate for like Eden. Yeah. So I'm doing a little bit of voice training with that one, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So
I feel like I have to pick up this book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to pick up Blue Sisters.
Masterclass on character. Like,
so
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's on my TBR. I also, just like you, Becca, like I'm reading like 3 books at once all the time. Like I need like constant, because I'm a mood reader. So it's like I need like 3 options. And then like depending on what I feel like, I'll like pick up that specific option.
Oh no. Did she freeze for you too?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, who's moving? Who's moving?
Guy, my Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. I'm so sorry.
You're doing great.
What was I saying? Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, The Switch by Beth O'Leary, and Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Those are like my current 3. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna put Blue Sisters on my TBR.
I have a question. For Intermezzo, are you like, oh, I hope she can hear me.
Oh yeah, she froze. I think she
yeah.
can
There she is.
Okay, guys, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
I read the first chapter of Intermezzo, could not get into it. Do you recommend like powering through?
I find that a lot of Sally Rooney's books, it's worth it. Like the ending always packs a punch. I felt that way with like Beautiful World, Where Are You? I think Normal People was less so like that, but definitely Beautiful World, Where Are You? Was like you have to power through at certain points. So I'm assuming that Intermezzo is exactly like that. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But yeah, like that's something that I've noticed with some of her books.
It's just confusing, like, because also I don't understand the artistic choice to like not use quotation marks.
Oh, that's been, that has been happening a lot more. I feel like in books. I know that a lot of writers from the UK do that artistic choice, and it's becoming more like worldwide. I feel like I've seen in a lot more of like the literary fiction books. I agree. It takes me a while. Like I can't read it on my Kindle.
Oh, interesting. I don't seem to mind it that much. Like I don't know why. I don't know. It just like ticks me a couple pages and then like I'm kind of like, okay, like I understand. Like sometimes I'll get a little like I'll have to like backtrack and kind of reread and be like, wait, was this dialogue or was this like introspection or whatever? But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me that much. But I've also read like other books that do similar things. So maybe it's just like habit at this point. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll let you know when I finish it, Becca.
We'll chat. We'll talk.
We'll chat. Yes, we will. Yeah.
I am also, I guess it's too strong to say this, but it is true. I am kind of hate reading a book right now. I've never done this. I've never done this. I DNF if I don't like a book. I will always DNF. But a friend told me to read Zodiac Academy. I'm so sorry to anyone.
Oh no.
Tell us more, Mick. Tell us more.
I am flabbergasted. I'm reading it more out of like concern and like a sociological study. Like I don't get it. I don't see the face I made. Yeah, when you said so, I don't know. I have a lot of friends who are like obsessed with it. I am so concerned and scared, and I can't stop reading. It's like a car crash. This is the only time ever that I've read a book like that where I like will not stop reading because I'm like so concerned of what's going on, like in a bad way. But to power through, I've thought of it as like a Disney Channel original movie. And honestly,
Don't disrespect the DComs like
I
that.
know, that's what I
hate
was
to
gonna
say it.
say.
I hate to say it. It kind of works as like
Wait, but
a
aren't there like
DCOM.
10 of them? Are you just trying to hate read the
I
first one?
cannot hate read a series. I don't think I can hate read a series. I don't think I can do it. But like I am hate reading this one purely because I am truly like, what is going on? But once they had like Faybook, like it was like Facebook, but Faybook, I was like, this is a Disney Channel original movie. Okay. I feel this now. I understand. So I am
How
reading
far
that.
in are you?
Far. I have
Okay.
to finish. Like I've passed the halfway point. I have to get it done. Yeah, I've never done this. It's a wild ride. I usually just instantly end it. I end my reading journey, but I am reading the full thing.
Can I just say, one of the reviews that I saw was that like someone was like, yeah, like the first few books are like pretty rough, but once you get to like, what is it, like the third or fourth book, like it really starts to get better. I was like, if it takes me that long, I am
I
not
know.
investing that
No,
time and effort and energy into a book.
I
No.
highly don't recommend to read this at all. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. I will not be rating it on Goodreads because I do think like if I am hate reading a book, I don't think it's fair to rate it on Goodreads. That's not fair at all. I will be giving it a review, but I will not be starring it because I'm not here to just like bash authors on Goodreads for fun. But oh my God, yeah, Taylor, the books are long. It's long. It's my nighttime book.
How long is it?
I don't know. It's on Kindle, but it's long.
Oh, okay, I believe that.
Yeah, it's my nighttime book, you know, so it's like
Good
read a
luck.
couple minutes every time before bed. Yeah.
I love the like Disney Channel movie. That is so funny.
It's 500 pages.
Becca, it's so long. It's so long. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's so bad. There's so many, and not even like, I mean, like the writing I don't think is the best. I'm not even talking about bad writing. I mean, like there are issues. There are issues.
Okay.
Issues. There's a lot of consent issues. There's vampires just going around biting people.
Oh my God.
For no reason, guys, for no reason. I'm flabbergasted. Every time I read a page, I was like, I could have not been more surprised of what's going on in this world. But I can't stop reading it. So maybe she's onto something. Maybe they're onto
Honestly,
something.
kudos to you for just like powering on too, though. Like, I don't think I would have been able to do that. Okay. Quick question from Renee. What do y'all film with? Phone or camera? If you do have a camera, what camera is it? I have a Sony a6 700. That's far away, so I'm not going to go get it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I have my camera.
Tell us more, Ari. Do you like it?
I love it. It's definitely overkill. It's a really nice camera. I really love it. But I think if like I really like photography just generally. Like I worked as a photographer for a while, so I was like, oh, this is like an investment. So I got it and I love it. Works great, but I definitely don't think that you need to get that camera if you're interested in like YouTube. You know what I mean?
I did like so many, I think for the first year of doing videos pretty consistently, I just used my phone and it worked great. My mom did buy me, I used the Sony ZV-E10 mostly because I love the Sonys for photos and video so much. And to me they're just really easy to use.
Yes, they're super intuitive.
Love. I did every video that you see on my channel except for the last one is on my iPhone. In front of a window, natural light, that's it. I did just get the Canon EOS R50. How
are you liking it?
I love it. Again, overkill, I think, like Ari said, like I don't think you need this. Definitely a little bit more expensive, even than like the Sony one that Becca has. But I also wanted a good one for like photography and like other things outside of YouTube. Like I wanted something that wasn't my phone that I could take with me. So I've been taking a lot of photos on trips, but I love it. Yeah, it's been nice.
It's a fun
I also
question.
just think the best vlog camera is your phone, is the one that's just like always
Yes.
with you. So
Yeah, I agree.
Also, I'm just like too embarrassed to like bring a big ass
whole
camera
thing.
into public places. Like I get so socially anxious. I'm like, I can't do this.
I don't have it right now because I think it's in my backpack because I bring it if I go somewhere. But I got one of those like little stands that like magnetically fits on the back of your phone,
Ooh,
and it's like
those are
tiny.
fun.
Is it the one that like
Yeah.
holds out like a little
Yes,
oh, I want one of
yeah.
those so bad.
That I highly recommend. Like that's great if you are like coffee shop shot, any vlogging or anything like that. Easy.
Mm,
Hmm.
okay, that's a top tip. I'm gonna have to use that. Okay, let's answer one last question and then we're gonna get into another sprint.
Mhm.
Cody wants to know, do you
Mm.
usually know what you want to say with a piece of work before you start drafting it, or do you discover the message of the story as you write it? It's a great question.
That is a great.
I very much have no clue. Like, I think I have like inklings of it, but
Mm.
then it changes dramatically over the course of like writing it. And I think like the message and the theme changes. Like I think maybe like the core of it might kind of stay the same, but like it'll kind of be variations on that and it'll get like refined, I want to say, as I start drafting. But I'm also like a pantser. So
Mm.
like I think because I'm a pantser, that has a lot to do with it. But I think like even before I start pantsing, like I try to think about like what the core of the story, like the core theme, the core like
Mhm.
messages kind of like, and I think I spoke about this before, but like I think I like to think about like what the character arc is, and generally like the character arc will like be compatible with the theme, which will be compatible with like the message kind of. So like I think I know a bit, but yeah, no.
I think for me, I definitely have like an idea. Um, Part of the reason why I actually shelved my last book was because I actually really lost the not the actual plot, but I lost the plot of like the message that I wanted to say with it. And so I was like, I'm just gonna I think this taught me a lot about writing, but I don't think I need to revisit this anymore. Um, but like with Eden, like I knew I wanted to talk about like men and emotional vulnerability because I
Mm.
feel like that's like a
Mm.
very hot, no, I don't want to say hot button issue, but it's just like a thing that it always like fascinated me. And now that I've made this as much like Laurel's story as it is like Peter's, like it's more about just vulnerability between people. That there's definitely like the male aspect of it and the female like aspect of like the need to serve other people and like always being a
Mm,
provider and stuff like that. But much like Ari, I think like it kind of changes because that's not what I started with like at all, really. It just kind of morphed into something else. And
mm,
then you get to decide like if that's really the thread that you want to follow or if it's not. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I ask this question a lot, like when interviewing authors for the podcast, because I find it so fascinating. I definitely think of something before I start writing. Like, I think when I think of the premise, a general theme or what I want to say usually comes with it. So, like with
Mm,
House of Stone, this current project, I've always known, at least in the beginning, that it was like answering the question of how far will someone go to feel like they truly belong, kind of
Mhm,
like the dark side of trying to fit in
mhm,
a bit. But like you guys are saying, like it completely, that's still there. But I think there are other themes that are getting louder
mhm,
as I write because characters have a mind of their own. So I always have a direction going in. Yeah, whenever I think of a premise, I instantly think of a theme, but the
mm,
theme does not stay the same. It will definitely change.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have kind of like similar um
Mhm.
in the comments. A lot of my ideas start with a theme and a kind of message I want to say. It does change as I write, but the main theme kind of holds it all together.
Yeah, definitely.
And Anna says I usually start wanting to say something and then I start writing and the story tells me that's cute and does something else.
I feel that too.
I really feel that. Yeah, I think at a certain point, like the story kind of just like takes on a mind of its own. and you kind of just like need to like listen and follow it. And I think that's kind of like the joy and the fun of it too. Sometimes it's just like, oh, where are we going? All right, guys, ready for another sprint?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I also just started using TrackBear for like every
Me
day.
too.
I kind of like it. I put in like every sprint that I do, like how many words. It's kind of nice to see like an average of how many words you get per minutes. Yeah.
That is nice. I hate the way that it has your like calendar because it's like vertical.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is breaking my brain a little bit. You know what I mean?
I have to do, you can put a goal. And so I have like just write every day and then it shows it in circles. Like
You're gonna have to show me how you do
I
that.
will. Yeah, I'll show you
Okay.
after this. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
need to know. Okay. All right. Good luck, everyone. Feel free to drop any questions after this sprint. And good luck. All right, guys. How'd that one go?
I forgot we were streaming.
That's
I
a
know.
good sign.
Me too.
I still got like 400 words, which I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh wow, I got 545.
Nice.
Thank you.
I think I got about 500 that time too.
There you
Go,
go.
guys.
I'm getting like blinded by the sun. I'm just like
I see
Oh,
bars of sunlight.
Lynn says her sprint went pretty good. Miley
Yay.
read another 23 pages. Wow, you're speeding through.
oh wow.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, I think we have like one last question and then I think we'll wrap up the stream,
Love
which
it.
is crazy. It's already been an hour and a half. I can't believe it.
I know.
So we had one question from Renee. Do y'all put social media in your books? How do you come up with naming the social? That's a great question. Does anybody want to take a stab at it?
Well, mine's really easy because there's no social media yet during the time I'm writing this, so not a problem I have to worry about.
I forgot that it's set in the 90s. That's such a good point. Also same, really easy. It's like a fantasy world where technology doesn't exist. So not helpful maybe for if you're trying to name something in your book, but
I know mine's like magic in the contemporary world. So they do have like smartphones, but I don't mention social media only because I always worry. This doesn't really have to do with like naming social, but I guess I worry about like calling something like Twitter because now there's a ton of books that have kind of dated themselves in a way, or like using the actual social media name, I feel like is a bit of a risk because things change. I've never had to name a social media before. So I don't
yeah.
know. I feel like it feels like a Silicon Valley corporate thing to do is like take a word and just spell it differently.
Hey,
And
there's Faybook from
there's Faybook from Zodiac
Zodiac
Academy.
Academy. There we
So you
go.
can do whatever you want.
Taylor read 4 chapters, got through 4
nice.
chapters at Sprint. She needs to do a lot of rewriting. That's still like a lot of progress.
That is.
Gracie managed 530 words.
Woohoo,
Oh, wait, that's great, Gracie. Congrats on the 1K.
Oh, yay.
AP revised another chapter, 6 more. Oh my gosh, you're almost done. 6 more chapters and a
Wow.
conclusion until this book is done. That's huge.
So much progress today.
I know. Nice. Rose finished outlining Act 2. Oh my God, amazing.
Love.
And AP said, I haven't had to name one either, but I would make up a name but describe it in a way that people know what it's referring to. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, guys. This was so fun. It was so nice to have you guys on. Thank you for coming on and sprinting with me.
Thanks for
This is
having
very
us,
like
Ari.
cozy.
I know, it's a very cozy, productive stream. I love it.
I love like an afternoon writing session. Like there's nothing cozier to me than like a weekend afternoon writing session.
I agree. I still have like 600 words to go to hit my writing goal, but I think I'll take a stretch break and then I'll probably leisurely do that the rest of the day.
Love it. Do you guys want to tell the people where you are, where they can find you? Anything new, fun, exciting coming up anytime soon?
Becca?
I don't think so because I
Becca?
I was talking about to Ari with the I can speak. I was talking to Ari about this before the stream. I may be taking a little break from YouTube just to like actually grind out and do some make some progress on writing and also just for the brain goblins to chill the hell out. But yeah, you can still find me on YouTube. I'm about to be super active over on my Substack. So that's linked in like every video. So if you want to follow along there, you can find me there. But yeah, it's just Becca Tobar or Becca Tobar writes on like everything. So
Love it. Yeah, I just came off a little bit of a YouTube break, but I'm definitely not posting as consistently as I used to be. So I'll be sporadically here or there on YouTube, also to keep away the brain demons and to work on my project. But you can find me at Mick Writes on YouTube, at Mick is Writing on Instagram. I am back on there for a little bit. And I also have a Substack that I should be more active with come middle of March. So I'll probably be there a lot. But I'm
Honestly,
also in Dami's Discord. Dami and CK's Discord is great.
mm-hmm.
I'm
it's
active
so great.
there. Anyone can, I feel like we're all really open with people. Like if you ever want to
Mhm.
chat, talk about writing, we're always here.
Yeah, go follow their Substacks. They're both amazing. I love reading their Substacks.
Becca's is really
Um,
good.
yeah, both of yours.
Yeah, no,
And
both.
yeah, kudos to you guys because I don't think I could handle like another platform. You know what I mean? So like props to you both. But yeah, you are on my channel. I'm also kind of taking a YouTube break, although I'm live streaming. I had my wisdom teeth out, so I've just been kind of like recouping since then. And yeah, thanks everybody so much for joining. This was so lovely and fun. I hope you guys had fun writing. And if you keep writing, good luck.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
friends.